Let's go over 2 ways you can calibrate your key machine. All right, so first off, Carl, thank you for asking us to do this video. I didn't realize I never went over both methods, so it'll be fun to kind of do it. But before we get started, I just want to go over 2 really important things. If you look at the machine here, on the right side, you're gonna see the cutting wheel, and on the left side, you're gonna see the tracer. The point of the whole thing here, of what we're doing today, is to make sure they're perfectly equal and square to each other to make sure that the depth your machine is cutting is proper. All right, let's go over the first method, which is going to be the official method. Now, with this method, when you buy a new machine in particular, you're gonna get like a little bag like this instead of a bunch of little parts and pieces in it. Don't throw them away, or your manual for that matter, because there's gonna be a couple pieces in here that you're gonna need to calibrate your machine the official way. So let's hop in and let's do it right. All right, now, of course, before we get going, 2 important things I just wanna make sure we're all on the same page on, right? Of course, here's the cutter. Here's the tracer. You put the blank key on this side, you put the key you want to trace on this side to duplicate, and you got to make sure that these are perfectly aligned with each other, right? This is the depth selector back here. To adjust it, you would loosen this nut, and then you would adjust it right here, right? And so just to make sure we got that on, we're on the same page there. Now, all right, so for method number 1, if you buy a machine new or hopefully used, you're gonna get kind of like this little bag of parts. It actually comes from this bigger little bag of parts here. And these 2 pieces are going to be the most important. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna put 1 on each side, 1 on the trace and 1 on the cut side. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna tip stop these, all right? So I'm gonna just put it in here. We're gonna tip stop it, and we'll go to the next one, and we're gonna tip stop it. All right, now that the tip stopped, is what you wanna do here is you just wanna bring it up, and you wanna put it all the way in there. What is important here, let me bring this down, let me turn this a little bit so you can see it there, is what I want you to see is that this needs to be perfectly flush inside there, right? This tracer onto the key. Now, at the same time, when you make sure that is there, is what you wanna be able to do, is what I like to do, right over here is the brush, okay? And you wanna be able to move this brush, which is going to, because it's a direct drive, and you're gonna, let me get this back in here. Okay, so I'm gonna hold it in there with my finger, and when I turn it, you want it to be able to move freely, but you want there to be a little bit of tension. So as you can see, it's spinning freely, which means it's not going to be cutting deep enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna loosen this up here, okay? I'm gonna put my, and I wish I had 5 hands, but I only have 2. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to hold this up with my palm. I'm gonna hold this up here, and I'm gonna take this, and I'm just gonna start moving it one way or the other here to get it down. Okay, so it's not that way. Let me move it the other way while I'm spinning. Okay, now it's stuck. I can't move it, so I'm gonna back it off a little bit. There we go. That's a little more. Hear that noise? That's perfect. That's how you know it's absolutely perfect, all right? Now, I'm gonna bring this back down, and I'm gonna tighten this down. I'm gonna bring it back up and just double check everything's good. That's perfect, all right. So now you're technically using the calibration templates here. You're gonna be perfect. Now, you don't wanna turn the machine on while you're doing this. You don't wanna chew into the key because it's not gonna work anymore, right? That's how you do it. Now, at this point, you would wanna put 2 blank keys in and cut, and you wanna make sure that there's no marks, but I'm gonna wait and do that because we're gonna go over method number 2. All right, so there you have it. That's the method number 1. That's the official way. Now, to be honest on this one, I have to admit, I've actually seen some calibration templates in brand new boxes. They don't even work, okay? So if you run into that, I still got you covered, or if you have a used machine, this method is for you. All right, so here we are. We've done method number 1. We've done it the normal, legit way, but if you can't find these little guides, you don't need to buy them. And as a matter of fact, I, for the record, I don't think I've ever technically used them because I like to use this method because you don't need anything but 2 blank identical keys. All right, so these are both brand new keys, both by the same manufacturer, came out of the same box. All of those things are important to me when you're doing this, but you can use any brand, any of that kind of stuff. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna align these two keys up by the shoulder, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna check. Now, if your machine's off or you wanna see if it's off or how it's doing, this is how you're gonna do it. And by the way, we're gonna test my setup here on the these templates. So I'm gonna turn it on and I'm gonna trace it. Now, what I'm gonna want, I'm not gonna want any like major cutting, but I'm also not gonna want it to not hit there. You want it to lightly skim across, okay? And you almost wanna just see afterwards when we cut the key, you can see that this right here, you know, you can see the finish on it, all that kind of stuff. You want it, the polishing, I should say, and we're just gonna wanna see slight little cuts in there, but nothing to speak of, all right? So let me get that put on there. Okay, get that set up. Let's see how we did and if we need to make any other adjustments. Okay, you can hear that. That's probably a little more than I want for my liking. Let's look. Nope, actually that is perfect. Look at that. Okay, so I'll make sure I get you a close-up here and you can look at this and you can see how there is some cutting of the surface, but not all the way, okay? When you see that there, you see that's absolutely perfect. And if your machine's calibrated like this, it's going to work. Now, if you need to adjust it, you can. You're gonna do the same thing as what you're gonna do. Okay, let me just grab a new key. And just for the kicks and the giggles of it, all right, let's mess it up. Let's just mess it up, okay? Let's move it in, out a little bit, in, out a little bit. Let's get it messed up, okay? This thing's messed up. And let's just cut a key. Let's see how bad it's messed up and then let's fix it. Okay, so as you can see, as we cut there, nothing happened. Didn't touch it, not even close. We got to get it set up. So I can still use this key actually, since I didn't touch it. And we're gonna use the exact same concept here. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna turn it on. I'm just gonna bring it up. And I'm gonna do this same thing where I need multiple hands. I'm gonna be with my finger here, moving the brush, because it's a direct drive, so it's moving the cutter. I'm holding it up against here, and then I'm gonna start adjusting this knob, okay? So I got this here. Well, I'm gonna do it different. I'm gonna use my thumb this time, holding it up. My fingers here, moving the brush. Scoot it over a little, there you can see it. And then I'm gonna be moving this knob. I've already loosened this, and so I'm just gonna move it until it gently, let's see, which way do I need to go here? All right, there we go. Let's just get it going. All right, so it's making that same noise. Hear it? Right. That should be perfect. So I'm gonna tighten this down. Let's look at the little mark it made. You can see the little mark there, perfect. Now let's cut and let's make sure it's perfect. Let's see. Ooh, that actually took a little more off than I want. All right, let's do it one more time. Here we go, real video. We're showing the truth here. That's how we should be doing it. All right, we're gonna get those two keys in there. I'm gonna loosen this back up. I'm gonna bring it over, okay? I'm gonna hold it. You can hear that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna bring it back a little. Okay, I think that should be good there. All right, let's test it out. All right, same thing here, perfect. You can see it once again. It's partially cut, but you can also still see some of the original material on there, okay, where it was polished like that. So that's perfect. So that is how you do it. All right, so there you go. New machine, used machine, a machine that's still made, a machine that's not still made. You can calibrate it quickly and simply. But most importantly, I wanna know, did you find this video helpful? And even more important than that, do you have other techniques or tips that you can leave in the comments to help people who are struggling with this? I look forward to reading them. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Well, I guess this is the end of the video, and it's time for you and I to part ways until next time. But hey, before you go, I really do want to make sure that you know that when you comment on our videos and you include the hashtag Lockboss, you automatically get hooked up to win cool stuff that we give away live here on YouTube every Tuesday. So we'd love to have you join us. We'd love to have you comment, and I look forward to reading them soon.